Hi, your life goddess here. I am back today talking about compliments because compliments are your first way of beginning to seduce someone. Why do I say this? Because when you give someone a compliment, you get a little bit into their head. Everyone loves compliments. Some people are going to say, oh, I don't like compliments. It's not true. They don't like some compliments. They don't like some compliments from some people, but they like compliments. Everyone does. It's human nature. So when you give a compliment, that is your first way to get in their head. And once you're in their head and they start to think about you when you're not there, then you've begun seducing this person. And that's kind of what we're talking about here, right? Is dating and seduction. I'm not talking about at work complimenting your coworker and getting in trouble with HR. I'm not talking about that. Do not think I am. There's a set and a setting. When a woman's out at a bar or a nightclub and she's all dressed up, she probably is there, not always, but mostly, she's there putting herself in a situation where she's open to being talked to. And of course, if you look over and her body language is like away from you and she doesn't look back at you, don't go over and compliment her. Read body language before you do this. But if she has an open and slightly tilts towards you, even if she's talking to her friends, if her body language somewhat faces yours, and this goes also women, I mean, guys don't get that offended if you compliment them, honestly. I don't think guys, it's very hard. I'm going to say something very politically incorrect here, but it's the truth. It's not as easy to sexually harass a man. It just isn't. If you give a guy a compliment, even if he doesn't like you, he's not too upset, you know? He's not skeeved out. He doesn't feel a little dirty. He doesn't need to go take a shower. No. He feels kind of like, yeah, I got it. I've noticed this with guy friends of mine who get pretty sexually harassed by women. These are straight guys. I mean, when they tell me these things, it's like, okay, I'm getting off the track of compliments, but I have to put this story in here because this is interesting. Okay, so if a guy sends a woman a dick pic, right? She's going to be offended unless she asked for it. Now, when a woman sexually harasses a man by sending him a picture of her nipples or her who knows what, right? And I know that guys that this happens to, they're not really bothered. They're not bothered at all. They're just kind of like, oh yeah, I got another picture. And they're very nonchalant about it. It's not like it upsets them. So, there's much more room for error, I think, with complimenting a man than if you're a woman complimenting a man or even hitting on him, than there is a man with a woman. A man with a woman, she could get very upset very easily and you could end up in HR. Yes, it's true. Don't compliment a woman at work. Just don't. Unless you're going to say, wow, you did a great job on that project. I know you put in a lot of extra hours and that was impressive. That kind of compliment, that's a safe work compliment. But I mean, even at work, you might be trying to seduce this woman, right? You are trying. If you haven't read Robert Greene's book of the 48 Laws of Seduction, I think it's a book worth reading. I'm not saying all of it's going to work and you have to always be yourself. You can't be someone else. But if you take his suggestions and go with what's natural for you to do, I think you can do pretty well with his ideas because he's like a true modern day Romeo Casanova, and he's not like a super handsome dude, right? He's a kind of, he's an average looking guy. He's not Keanu Reeves. He isn't. And he's very, very good at seducing women. So this is the kind of guy that's his advice actually matters, right? Okay, so back to compliments and seduction. Safe compliments for you to give a woman. And then I'm going to get to great compliments to give to either gender because I think women need to compliment men too. I think men like a good compliment. They want to be complimented. Okay, but let's start first with what can you say that's a safe way to compliment a woman maybe with the intention of eventually courting her, seducing her, right? But safe, not creepy. This is not creepy. Zero creepy compliments. Okay, so what you want to say that's zero creepy is you want to compliment something that is not objectifying her. And a really easy way to do it is to compliment her outfit. Why? Because women put a lot of time into getting dressed up. They put a lot of time thinking about their clothes. Not all women. I can't say I do. I used to, but not really. But most women do put a lot of time into that outfit. And when you say, wow, that's a great shirt. Is it Italian? You know, she might be like, oh, he noticed my excellent taste, and that's a compliment that's going to mean something to her. Or a piece of jewelry. Women wear jewelry in a way that, well, I think men wear it this way too secretly, but women wear jewelry as a self-expression, but women also sometimes wear jewelry as armor. So when you see a woman who has a lot of nicer jewelry, it's her trying to feel that she has status and some sort of strength. It's like armor going into battle. The jewelry makes her feel safe. Men, I feel like when men wear, you know, a ring that says they are, I don't know, a Freemason or something, but you know, it's kind of, it can be a little bit of an armor thing too for them. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, if you're a guy and you wear jewelry, what do you wear it for? Do you wear it because you want to look sexy? Do you wear it as kind of a nod to other men to say, hey, I belong to this group, or hey, I have a Rolex watch because I'm successful, or, you know, what is your reason for wearing it? But I think women definitely wear jewelry as armor a lot of the time, and especially women who wear very flashy and obviously expensive jewelry, them the most. Women who are wearing like long dangly earrings, that is a woman who is more flirtatious. Just saying. Like, you will not see me in dangly earrings because, well, I'm flirtatious. I'm not that flirtatious, you know? That's a flirty woman. Or big hoops, flirtatious. Okay, so you compliment her clothes, you could compliment her jewelry. These are very safe things because you're not complimenting her. You're not saying, hey, I like your, or your, you know, you're not saying that. You're not saying something inappropriate. You're saying you think she has great taste, and every woman wants to be seen as a person with great taste. And then when you compliment her, right, you want to see what her reaction is. And if she starts to talk to you about the item, especially if you pose a question, which is very easy to do, like, you know, that's a nice watch. Is it blah, blah, blah? That's a beautiful pendant. Is it amethyst? That's a gorgeous, those earrings are gorgeous. I don't know if you notice diamond earrings or not. That would be kind of weird. It might be weird. I don't know why, but it feels weird. So maybe don't say that. But if you sort of put the question in there with it, you know, if you happen to see a woman at a gas station and she has a nice car, well, that is a very innocent compliment that I think that any guy could pretty much get away with. Now, once again, if she's pumping gas in her 911 and you want to say, hey, I love your 911, but she is not looking anywhere near you and has sunglasses on, she doesn't want to be complimented. She doesn't want to engage with anyone. If you're on the other side of the pump and you're in your 911 and she's in her 911, you're like, I went straight to 911. It could be Prius, it could be a Pinto. But you know, if you're on the other side of the pump and she stands where you can see her and she faces your way a couple times, especially if she makes a quick eye contact and smiles, you know, then she might be open to being complimented. And complimenting her on her car, I mean, you couldn't get more easy than that. You could not. And maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like people who drive cool or interesting cars seem to be a little bit more open to getting compliments because they care about this. It's kind of a hobby, right? Like no one has a fancier car like that and doesn't know a little bit about it. They know about the engine, they know about the brakes, they know about, you know, this is what the color of this car is called. It's called rooster red, or it's called, you know, blah, 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 black. They know these things. So I think when a car compliment is a pretty safe, and I actually should put that in the list of things you could compliment both men and women on safely, and maybe let's add it into that. Okay, but if the person after you give the compliment seems interested and they sort of turn towards you and want to engage in conversation, then you kind of feel it out a little more, and then you could ask what their name is. And if they say, oh, blah, 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 what's your name? Da, da, da. If you feel the urge if you feel it's right, you could give them your number and be like, I don't know if you're single, but if you are, here's my number. And they will either then say, oh no, thanks, I'm with someone. Whether they are or not, they'll lie if they're not interested. They'll just say that they're in a relationship. Or they'll say, oh, thank you. And then they might call you. And then boom. And then boom, boom, boom. You could take it from there. Okay. Now, compliments that are really good to seduce either gender, both men or women, these will work on. And I think, okay, like I said, I think men are kind of starved for compliments. For some reason, it just feels that way. So when you give a guy a compliment, it can be very effective very easily. Like if you say to a guy, oh, I love your hair, he's gonna be thinking about that all day long. And here's a beautiful part about complimenting a man. When you say, I love your hair, or if you say, your hair looks good today, don't say your hair looks good today to a woman. She's gonna be like, my hair didn't look good yesterday. She's seriously gonna think that, not kidding. So when you are talking to a man and you say, your hair looks good today, he's like, oh, my hair looks good every day. He's gonna run with that compliment. And I like that about men. They're very easygoing people in general. And they're starved for compliments. So give a guy a compliment, you know, give it to him. You can say, if you're dating someone and you wanna really seduce them further, male or female, this one works really well. You could say, I feel so proud to be with you. That is one of the best compliments you can give anyone, is to say that you feel proud, you feel honored to be with them, you know. And I think the delivery is important too. Like if it's sort of out of the blue, it can mean even more. If you're just walking down the street or into a restaurant or something like that, and you just look at them and touch their arm maybe, just and say, I'm so proud to be with you. Whew, very good, very, very good. Okay, another one that's really great is if you say to the person that you're trying to really get in their head and seduce, or you want to take your relationship further, this will do it. If you say, you always know how to make me smile. Now that's something that you could actually say even at work and it be not creepy. It's not a compliment about their physical appearance. It's a compliment about their demeanor and their quality as a person. So, you know, someone at work who you do kind of have a crush on, if you're walking by and they say something to you about whatever, and you say, you always know how to make me smile. They're like, it could definitely open a door. Not always. If they don't like you, if there's no chemistry or attraction, nothing is going to work. You know, let's be honest, nothing will work. But if they are a little attracted to you and they think you are attractive, then it could be a great segue. Another wonderful thing to hear and a compliment that works really, really well on both is, I believe in you. It's also something that you can say in a lot of situations. I believe in you. Who doesn't want to hear, I believe in you? Everyone wants to hear that. So that is a great compliment. Another one that I like a lot is, you have a big heart. And this is only something that you would say when you see someone did something that was thoughtful and nice. Like when women especially, I think, love to hear that someone notices when we did something nice. It's like, we want to do something nice, but we want to do it pretty anonymously. We don't want to be in your face with it. But then that time when someone notices that we did the nice thing, that we're very proud of ourselves that we did this nice thing, we love to hear, oh, you have such a big heart. You're so kind, you know? And I think guys really like to hear that too. And don't you want to be with somebody who has a big heart anyway? So that should be, obviously you can't say it to someone who's not a kind, wonderful person, but do you want to be with someone who isn't kind and wonderful? Or do you want to be with someone who has a big heart? I mean, it's great, right? Okay, and then this last one I think is fantastic for in the beginning sort of things. You're just starting to spend time with someone in a relationship, and maybe you've gone on a date or two. I love this one. You say, time flies when I'm with you. Oh my gosh, time flies when I'm with you. That sounds magical, doesn't it? Magical. You're like, oh. So, okay, I hope all of these were very, very, very helpful as far as compliments, because compliments really are seduction. Seduction is making someone think about you when you're not around. People think about a good compliment well after it's given. They could think about it the rest of the day. They could think about it the rest of their life if you gave a really good compliment that was genuine, authentic, well-placed, and to someone who was open to receiving a compliment from you. So thank you for watching. As always, please like and subscribe. It means a lot to me. And share this with someone who you think needs to know what are some good compliments to give. You'll be helping them out. Thank you so much. Live a fascinating story. Bye.